This is VOA News. I'm David Byrd. President Donald Trump has decided to scrap a plan to cut billions of dollars in foreign aid. We get details from AP's Sagar Meghani at the White House.
Since taking office, the Trump administration's tried each year to slash foreign affairs spending by up to 30%, with lawmakers on both sides rejecting it each time. The president's tried again and now given up on cutting some $4 billion in aid Congress had already approved. A senior administration official says the president was looking to cut what he saw as wasteful spending. Lawmakers disagreed. Sagar Meghani at the White House.
Russia and the United States blamed each other Thursday for abandoning a landmark arms control agreement on missiles, with Moscow warning of a new arms race and the Trump administration demanding details of a recent mysterious explosion that killed 5 Russian nuclear engineers. Deputy Russian Ambassador Dmitry Polyansky rejected what he called American hypocrisy, saying the U.S. test on August 18th, so soon after the expiration, proved the U.S. had violated the treaty. He said virtually from the first day of exiting the IMF treaty, American officials had begun to make threats and statements. Acting U.S. Ambassador Jonathan Cohen countered that Russia's deployment of multiple ground-launched cruise missiles that could hit European targets violated the treaty.
We're here today because the Russian Federation preferred a world in which the United States continued to fulfill its INF treaty obligations, while the Russian Federation did not.
Russia called Thursday's Security Council meeting following a U.S. test of a missile banned for more than 30 years by the 1987 Intermediate Range Nuclear Forces Treaty. Both countries withdrew August 8th. This is VOA News. Iran displayed what it described as a domestically built long-range mobile surface-to-air missile system Thursday. Reuters correspondent Meghani reports.
State TV released footage on Thursday showing President Hassan Rouhani at the unveiling ceremony for the Bavar 373 system. The announcement comes amid rising tension with the United States. Iran shot down a U.S. surveillance drone in the Gulf with a surface-to-air missile in June, saying it was over its territory. But the U.S. insists the drone was in international airspace. Iran has developed a large domestic arms industry in the face of international sanctions and embargoes. Western analysts say Iran often exaggerates its weapon capabilities, but there are still strong concerns about its long-range ballistic missile program.
That's Meghani of Reuters. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo assured Canada Thursday the United States is working to get China to release 2 Canadians it detained last year on espionage charges in cases linked to U.S. charges against a chief financial officer of the Chinese company Huawei. Pompeo said at a news conference that China wants to make the 2 situations the same, but that is not the case.
These are deeply different. The arbitrary detention of 2 Canadian citizens in China is fundamentally different as a human rights matter, as a rule of law matter. These are fundamentally different matters than the Canadian decision to use their due process and the rule of law.
China detained former Canadian diplomat Michael Kovrig and entrepreneur Michael Spavor in December of 2018 in an apparent attempt to pressure Canada to release Meng Wanzhou. Meng, the CFO of Huawei, was arrested December 1st in Vancouver at the request of U.S. authorities, who wanted her extradited to stand trial on fraud charges in the United States. A UN fact-finding mission has concluded that the Myanmar military intended to perpetuate genocide on ethnic Rohingya Muslims when it drove hundreds of thousands of them from the country in 2017. The report, released Thursday, also said the government had failed to investigate and punish acts of genocide. More than 700,000 Rohingya fled Myanmar's northern Rakhine state in August and September of 2017 after attacks by Rohingya militants against state security forces led to military reprisals. They continue to seek shelter by the hundreds of thousands in a refugee camp in neighboring Bangladesh. For more on these stories and the rest of the day's news, be sure to log on to our website, voanews.com. I'm David Byrd, VOA News.